Hi, welcome back to Sport on 7 tonight. I'm Tom Bushell. Don't forget you can get me on Twitter at Tom Bushell UAE. Let's concentrate on the start of Euro 2012 in Poland and the Ukraine. You can't hide from the excitement here in Dubai, and footballing legends have made their way here to take in the atmosphere. I caught up with former Irish legends Alan McLoughlin and Steve Staunton about Ireland's hopes at their first tournament since 2002.
Let's talk about Ireland for a second. Of course, Trapattoni has a superb record in charge of the national side. I think only 2 competitive games he's actually lost. What are Ireland's chances in this tournament? It's the first tournament for them for quite a while, well, since 2002, so they'll be going in and hoping for the best.
Yeah, I mean, 10 years is a long time. There's only a couple of the boys were involved 10 years ago. I think Damien Duff, Shay Given, to name but 2. So there's a little bit of lack of experience in that respect. But the way Trapattoni sets his team out is to be resilient. They keep a good shape, good discipline. Very difficult to break down at times. So they've got to go into that tournament keeping that same focus. Lost 1 or 2 players, which you expect, as lots of teams have. So it's going to be difficult. You know, you look at the group, you look at who's in there. But the one thing you'd say is the first game, Croatia, is probably the best game to have. They are an excellent side. They'll be delighted playing Ireland, as are delighted Ireland playing them first. So if you can get a good result, if they can keep compact and tight, make things difficult for Croatia, and you never know, a set piece, a moment of brilliance by one of the players, and key players as well need to play well. Robbie Keane, Damien Duff, the experienced players need to play well. So if they can do that and we can sneak a win, and then you've got the little bit of turmoil that is within the Italian camp, certainly then you've got half a chance. If you lose the first game, then you're really struggling to get through. So it's a key game.
The first Euro since 1988, of course, and as we mentioned, there are a couple of the sides, but in the group, Spain, Italy and Croatia, it's a tough one. But as you say, if you can get out of that, then it really isn't that far until the finals. Many say once you're out of the group in the Euros, you really are, halfway there, aren't you?
Well, I think if they get out of the group, that's it. The nation will be happy. The fact that the players will be delighted, the staff will be delighted. Just to get out of that group would be an immense achievement. So if they do that, they've conquered something. Then it's about your next group, who you might draw, whether you're first or second, and it will be a decent side coming through. But like I say, if we can get through that next stage, that's vital for the nation, the economy as well. A few more people down the pub in Ireland. So yeah, it's difficult, but realistically, you look at it on paper, there won't be too many people back in Ireland to get through that group. But I've just got, I'm not being biased, I've just got a sneaky feeling we just might cause an upset. It happens in most of the competitions. There's always surprises, and I'm just fingers crossed hoping it's going to be them surprising people. But it's very important that they don't lose too many players, key players, experienced players. John O'Shea, the amount of experience with Man United playing in Europe, big games. It's important that him and Dunn are fit and play well. Shay Given, like I said. So you're harping back to key players. I like to see Kevin Doyle have a good tournament, because I think he's had 1 or 2 decent performances this year for Wolves. But a couple of warm-up games, he's looked quite lively.
Just talking about the passion for football in Ireland, because you look at the rugby side and GAA sports and things like that. It's such a huge following. Is football up there now, or still up there? Because, there's so many sports to look at, but is football one of them?
Well, obviously, apart from football, everything else has been ingrained into society for, hundreds of years. So it's been there, it's very strong. But with the football, with the Premiership, it's as, I wouldn't say it's probably as passionate, but there's as much following for football. We saw with Euro 88, we saw with Italia 90, we saw with USA 94, the passion, how it brings the country together. Things have moved on since 1990 when we were in Italy. We weren't aware as players out in 1990 what was happening back home. Now you can look on your phone, you can check your internet. We were sent a VHS tape to see what was happening in pubs. So that's how things have moved on. But, people are passionate. They've got easy access to football. They follow their teams in England. And I'd suggest there's as much passion. And there's some hope, hopefully, for the team. But they're also very realistic. They're not going to crucify the players if things don't go well, because they know the group they're in. So they're great fans in that respect. They're tolerant. They know their football. So that's all you can ask for. And the players will actually enjoy the tournament better and will have less pressure on them because of that situation.
Trapattoni has made his size very hard to beat, of course, and it's taken a few years, but he's got that side playing how he wants them now and going into these Euros with confidence. And the likes of Given and Duff, maybe having their last tournament, they're ageing players, they'll be really motivated to do the best they can this time around.
To be honest with you, the lads are always motivated. You get to the majors, any tournament going, you're going to be motivated. Our lads are going to be as determined as ever. I mean, you're right in what you're saying. Hopefully they all don't retire together, because you need a couple of the older heads to stay in there for the younger group that's going to come through after this. So that's the way football goes. But let's get over this hurdle first. They're still young men, and you look at some of the players that went on in their careers. Cannavaro, for Italy, he played till he was 36, 37. So hopefully we've got one or two that might want to do that and help the younger generation along. But it's going to be a fantastic tournament for it, So fingers crossed we can get through the group stages.
Cannavaro, of course, came over here and saw out his playing days in the UAE. But the younger lads for Ireland, the star man, the guy that's in Moscow, of course, he's been getting great experience in the Champions League and European football, which is good for the Irish national side. Of course, we're talking Aidan McGeady. Do you think he'll shine this summer?
Well, I think the biggest thing that's happened that I've noticed in the last couple of games, a young boy, McLean, has been drafted into the squad, and he's had an excellent season with Sunderland. He's got his chance, played very well, and I think Aidan's had to look over his shoulder and gone, I'm not a guaranteed pick, and I think that'll bring out the best in him. And I'm really looking forward to young Shane Long getting a chance. If he gets a chance, I think we've got two players that can open up any defence.
It does seem like a side with great experience and those youthful players as well who are keen to impress, which basically is what you want for success, isn't it?
Well, you've got all the right ingredients. You've got the experience in the right positions, and you've got the youth and enthusiasm and the legs in the right positions. So hopefully, we can upset not hopefully, we always upset somebody. So I'm sure our lads are going to give a great account of themselves, as they always do. And as I say, no one knows what's going to happen in tournaments, but it's vital that you don't lose the first game.
Just a quick note on club football. Of course, two of your former clubs have been through massive changes recently. Let's start with Liverpool. Brendan Rodgers, a good choice for Liverpool Football Club. Do you think that's a good fit, and do you think he's the right man to take that club forward?
Obviously, in the eyes of the owners. I mean, he's a young man, got his own ideas, and maybe that's what Liverpool needs. They've got the players. Hopefully they can now go on and start progressing. Kenny won a trophy last year. Hopefully they can go on, win more trophies, but more importantly climb the table in the league position. I don't see why not. It's still a household name. Hopefully they'll be still able to attract the big names, even though they're not in the Champions League. So that's the big task first and foremost. But I think with Brendan's style of football will be very appealing to a lot of fans in particular, and hopefully to a lot of top players.
What does it take for the Liverpool fans to get on your side? Because Brendan Rodgers maybe wasn't the big name the fans were hoping for, but what does he need to do, and what does he need to show to those fans to get them on his side?
They'll be on his side from the off. Most importantly, you win a few games, they're even more so on your side. I think, looking at the way Brendan sets his teams up, if they go out and play with that home and away, I think he'll have no problem. I mean, I saw Liverpool quite a bit last year in the job I'm doing, and I felt sorry for them because they were battering teams. They really were, and I don't know, many times they hit the post, hit the crossbar. You've got to say sometimes lady luck does go against you, and other times it goes with you, and I think last year it definitely didn't go with Liverpool.
For Villa, Paul Lambert, of course, new man there. Is he the right man for that job? It's a great step for him, isn't it, from Norwich and to go to that bigger club and a club that hasn't performed well enough, so it's a perfect time to join them, and he can't really lose. If he beats, if he avoids the relegation battle, then that's progress.
Well, that's right. I mean, Villa next year have to try and get into the safety zone, as I call it. and hopefully they can do that. All the younger players have had a year experience. It's been unfortunate for Alex McLeish that he's had to be the one left with blooding, you know, the young ones all together at one time. He was unlucky with injuries. But again, another big club, young man, own ideas. I think exciting times for Aston Villa.
Great to chat to those guys. More to come shortly on Euro 2012 as we speak to Big Ron Atkinson guiding us through his predictions. First though, here are some tips to help you out with your tennis game.
Hi, my name is Sergio. I'm here at the Meydan Tennis Centre as part of 360 coaching staff, and today we're going to demonstrate the serve. Probably the most important shot in tennis, and some of the world's best players have the world's best serves. Okay, so we're going to start. We're concentrating on our feet. Our front foot points at an angle to the net post. Our back foot is parallel to the baseline. Now, what's going to happen? We're going to get in the ready position here. We're going to hold continental grip, which is very, very important when we're serving, all the way through the motion. We're going to rest the ball in the throat of the racket, and then it's going to drop into our fingertips, not our palm. So we're going to start here. Our hands are going to go down together, okay, and then they separate, and you're going to go into this position, throwing position, tick position. Okay, so we're here, here, tick. Okay, you're going to go throw. You're going to make contact out in front with a nice straight arm. This is very important. Then you finish across your body into the court. Okay, so let's do demonstration. Start position, okay, down together, tick position, then into the ball.
Thanks, Sergio. You might think it's a bit too hot to be playing tennis in Dubai at the moment, but get your practice in now, and come the winter, you'll be flying like Federer. Now, stay there tonight, as next on Sport on 7, we chat to Big Ron about Euro 2012. Also, all the big results to come. Stay there, we're back in a moment.